The game was part of activities in Newark honoring the national holiday for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. UCLA beat Baylor 72-57 to remain undefeated at 18-0. Bruin center Lauren Betts had 24 points, 9 rebounds, and a school record 9 block shots. The Chicago Bulls snapped the Clippers' 4-game winning streak. 112-99 was the final. Former UCLA star Zach LaVine dropped 35 for Chicago. The Lakers are back in action tonight at Crypto.com against the Washington Wizards. LeBron was in Atlanta last night to watch Ohio State beat Notre Dame for the Division I College Football National Championship. LeBron, a longtime fan of Ohio State University, had a luxury suite at Mercedes-Benz Stadium to cheer on his favorite college. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is for all the folks who appreciate follow-through. Here's a quick recap of the KBLA Talk 1580 2024 Climate Justice Campaign. More than 6.4 million Southern Californians viewed our climate justice billboards and bus shelters. Another 1.5 million people listened to and or downloaded our weekly conversations with African American climate experts. Our KBLA Climate Justice web portal had 2.8 million unique visitors. Thousands more attended our 7 climate justice community events. More than 9.3 million riders saw our climate care messaging on metro buses and trains. And 39 million Americans accessed our C-SPAN Climate Justice Symposium. All told, our 2024 Climate Justice Campaign exceeded 471 million total impressions. KBLA Talk 1580 thanks all of our 2024 Climate Justice partners: LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, Sierra Club, California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, LA City Council member Curran D. Price Jr., the California Wellness Foundation, MWD, AQMD, and the Port of Los Angeles. Caring about the climate, caring about the community, changing the conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580. 1580.
Live from historic Leimert Park in Los Angeles, California, I'm Tavis Smiley, and I'm so glad to see you and me back in stride again. Before we get started with today's show, let me invite you to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at The Real Tavis Smiley and get updates on X, that's formerly Twitter, at Tavis Smiley. By the way, should you miss any part of today's program or want to catch up on previous shows, you can always visit thetavissmileyshow.com. That's thetavissmileyshow.com, or wherever you get your podcast, and listen to the podcast version of this live program at your leisure. Another great show on tap for you today. In our second hour, 2 conversations. Up first, we will speak with Dr. Julius Garvey, son of Marcus Garvey, and Howard University law professor Justin Hansford about the success of the decades-long fight for clemency and exoneration of the freedom fighter and Pan-Africanist visionary granted now by former President Joe Biden in the hours just before he left the White House. So we'll talk to Marcus Garvey's son at the top of hour 2. On the B side of hour 2, a conversation with Democratic Socialist and the former head of Trans-Africa Forum, Bill Fletcher Jr., about Trump and black folk in the diaspora. In our third hour, a conversation with actor, producing, artistic director, and co-founder of LA's Ebony Repertory Theater, Ren T. Brown, about his new book, The Family Business, 4 Generations of One Black Family's Artistic Odyssey. Ren Brown comes in the studio today in our third and final hour. But in this first hour, two more conversations on the B side of this hour. Our regular contributor, Ruben Navarrete Jr., on the historical implications and political consequences of Donald Trump's immigration policy. As promised on his first day back in the Oval Office, Trump issued an order declaring a national emergency at the border, allowing for the immediate deployment of troops. Indeed, moments after he took the oath of office, his administration shut down an app that allows migrants to secure appointments for legal entry into the U.S. An announcement on the program's website said, and I quote, "Existing appointments have been canceled," close quote. And Trump has ordered deportation proceedings to commence today, starting in the Democratic stronghold of Chicago, and he plans to order the end of birthright citizenship. He'll have a fight on his hands with that one. That's going to be a fight, but he wants to end birthright citizenship. So Ruben is here today, and I'll ask him if all those Latinos who voted for Donald Trump are now having buyer's remorse. We'll do that later in this hour. We commenced today's show in conversation with renowned civil rights attorney Ben Crump, discussing his wrongful death lawsuit against the utility giant Southern California Edison on behalf of wildfire victims, specifically in Altadena. Before we hear Ben's voice, this is the voice of Donald Trump. Listen to what he said yesterday. Of all the things he could have said, of all that he could have said, here's what he did say in reference to the LA fires yesterday in his inauguration speech.
More recently, Los Angeles, where we're watching fires still tragically burn. From weeks ago, without even a token of defense, they're raging through the houses and communities, even affecting some of the wealthiest and most powerful individuals in our country, some of whom are sitting here right now. They don't have a home any longer. That's interesting. But we can't let this happen. Everyone is unable to do anything about it. That's going to change.
Ben Crump, I believe that all life has value. I know you and I feel similarly in that regard, but of all the things he could have said, he shouts out the wealthy and the powerful who've lost their homes.
Well, Happy New Year, Tavis, Smiley. Let me say that first.
Happy
brother.
New Year, my friend.
I'm so happy to see you on this side.
Yes, sir.
New Year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Happy to be together again.
Yes, sir.
But, you know, we start off this year, and we have to start off on the front line ready to fight all of this rhetoric from the number one enemy of equality, who is now sitting in the White House. And, you know, it's alarming but not surprising that he would reference the most affluent people, because he only seems to care about their lives and their life experiences. He doesn't seem to care about the life experiences of regular people, everyday people, average Americans. He certainly doesn't seem to care about people of color and black people in particular when you listen to his rhetoric, not these things that people try to editorialize, but when you listen to his words, he sends direct messages as to how he feels about black life. And so now more than ever, Tavis, Smiley, we have to be unapologetic defenders of black life, black liberty, and black humanity. And I know I'm preaching to the choir for you and your audience, but as they sometimes say in the Baptist church, the choir got to sing louder.
That's it. The choir's got to sing louder. We'll let Ben Crump sing a little louder when we come forward. But for Donald Trump to make one reference to the LA fires and to just name check the wealthy and the powerful who are sitting right here behind me. Only Donald Trump. Anyway, I digress. When we come forward, I'm going to let Ben Crump loose on this lawsuit against Southern California Edison, utility giant, as I said earlier, here in Southern California, and let him tell you the story of who he's representing in this case. You're listening to Ben Crump, and I'm glad about it, right now on Tavis Smiley.
From California to the Carolinas, everybody's listening to Tavis. More when we come forward.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code MOTOR for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code MOTOR for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code MOTOR.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors.
Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and Ben Crump. I'm just getting started. I've got messages everywhere. Let me read one right quick. Tavis, Donald Trump also had the indignation to say, quote, "Nobody's ever treated people in this country like that. There's rarely been anything like it in the history of our country," close quote. The listener's right. I didn't play that part of the clip, but he did make that reference on, as the listener says, on King Day, no less. Here he is on the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, talking about January 6 criminals, saying that nobody's ever been treated in this country like that. There's rarely been anything like it in the history of our country. And then, Ben, after he gives the speech, he goes to the White House and signs a sweeping clemency order for all the January 6 rioters. We'll get to Altadena, I promise, right quick here. But since you're Ben Crump, and since Donald Trump yesterday had the nerve to say that, and then to pardon all these folks, how did you read his clemency for all these January 6 rioters and his suggestion that ain't nobody ever been treated that badly in this country? Ben, can you hear me? Check your mute button, Ben. You may be on mute.
Okay, I'm sorry.
There you go.
Tavis.
There you go. No problem.
It reminds me, Tavis, and to all your listeners, that the intellectual justification of discrimination is in full effect, not only in the executive branch, but I am sad to remind you all, but it's also going to be on full display in the judicial branch with the United States Supreme Court that's going to ratify all of his knee-jerk emotional reactions with immunity. Yeah, I mean, that's what they saying. He has immunity for everything he does. So we got to get ready to make sure that we are strategic and we fight this war in the long game. Because right now, the short game, they got all the branches of government. So we got to be strategic. But we also, Tavis, got to stay energized. We got to understand Frederick Douglass, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, all of them, they have far worse odds than even a Donald Trump. But they understood without struggle could be no progress. And I have to say this before we move on to the wildfires, because it needs to be said. When I was young, Tavis, I used to pray, Lord, please let us have easier times so our children don't have to go through so much, despair and oppression. I don't pray that prayer anymore. I pray now for stronger children to be born to our black community. So no matter what may come, we're going to be all right.
Yeah. Stronger children. I hear the prayer. Before I let Ben share his thoughts on this lawsuit against Southern California Edison, yesterday on the King Day, let's just stay there for one more second. So Donald Trump had his say yesterday, so did Ben Crump. Ben Crump yesterday on the King holiday urged California Governor Gavin Newsom, Attorney General Rob Bonta, and state lawmakers to issue a moratorium on mortgages and unsolicited offers, that is, to purchase properties affected by the Eaton fires. I was just talking to Jay King yesterday, who's the president, Ben, of the California Black Chamber of Commerce. Jay King, also the founder of Club Nouveau. The brother's worn many hats in his career. We all know it. We all know and love Jay. But the California Black Chamber of Commerce is on this issue as well. It's not just about suspending mortgages and tacking them onto the back. We want a complete moratorium on mortgages. We want these unsolicited offers to purchase properties to stop here in Southern California. But tell me more about the announcement you made yesterday, the plea you made for the governor and the attorney general in this state to do more.
Absolutely. And Tavis, Jay is a brilliant brother, a courageous leader, and I love him. And I agree completely with him because we saw in Hawaii with the Maui fires, they did that, and they made sure that those natives didn't lose all their land to these land speculators and developers and carpetbaggers that we know are coming, especially with the Olympics on the horizon for Los Angeles. You know they're going to be trying to steal this land from these black people for pennies on the dollar. And just as we were talking about, Tavis, it's the long game. We got to look at the long game. The emotions of the moment, they're going to go ahead and move to the next news story, and with Trump back in power, it's going to be a news cycle every 24 hours that's going to change. We got to remain vigilant on what is important to our lives and our culture and our children's future, and that is generational wealth, because once you have economic freedom, it makes all the other freedoms that much more obtainable. So we got to fight like hell to make sure that these black homeowners who have owned these houses for decades aren't swindled out their money, and we want government leadership, just like they do for everybody else, to say, do something for the black community, and let's put a moratorium on these mortgages so people who have lost everything can have a chance to be made whole, especially when you got the culprits like Con Edison and other governmental entities and other defendants who were really a proximate cause for so much loss, because it could have been prevented had people been more prudent and followed the law.
Yeah, that takes me right up to Southern California Edison. One quick note. I was laughing when Ben said that the Trump news cycle changed every 24 hours. You mean every 24 seconds, Ben Crump? I wish if it were every 24 hours, I could keep up with it. But it changes every 24 seconds, every 24 minutes with Donald Trump, and that's the problem. But I digress. All right, I've got 10 minutes left with Ben Crump. I'm giving it all to him. Tell me about this lawsuit against Southern California Edison, Ben Crump.
Tavis, anytime we talk, we never seem to have enough time, brother.
Never.
I appreciate you so much for covering issues that they don't seem to want to cover in mainstream media, but it's important to black folk. And thank you for that. I just had to say that. And talking about black folk, the reason we sued Con Edison, Southern California Consolidated Edison Energy Company, is because they are the first prominent defendant. They won't be the last. And we sued them. We filed the first 2 wrongful death lawsuits for our black clients. Earlene Kelly was the second. The first one, as you all know, was Miss Evelyn McClendon. And both of these women, 59-year-old school bus driver Evelyn McClendon, and it's important that we talk about who they are. They were angels. And 83-year-old Earlene Kelly, who was a pharmaceutical tech her whole life. Her and her husband both were in the pharmacy industry. They worked at the same pharmacy right there in Altadena, serving black people their whole lives. And we got to make sure their lives are not in vain, that it stood for something and it meant something. So when they didn't get a warning that they should have given, Con Edison knew on January 3rd, Tavis, Smiley, that the Weather Center had put out a warning that they need to de-energize the power because it was foreseeable that there was going to be a fire that could be very destructive to the community. And they knew the Santa Ana winds were going 100 miles an hour. And this wasn't anything new for Los Angeles. And again, I'm preaching to the choir. We know every so often these winds and these fires catch on in Los Angeles and California. And so California, after the PG&E fires with Malibu, they've made the ordinance that said the energy companies must act because it's foreseeable. And once you got notice, as the law teaches us, that you have a duty to act. Notice is 2/3 of the law. So therefore, they were put on notice on January the 3rd, but yet they didn't give any warnings anything into that transmitter on January 7th, caught on fire, and we all heard, the folks all reported the explosions and so forth, and then they de-energized the power. It was too late then because that's when Miss McClendon and Miss Kelly couldn't evacuate. They couldn't get out in time because that fire was moving so fast. It burnt over 200 acres within an hour. And I mean, that's a fire that's moving at an explosive rate. And so, Tavis, what we're saying is that these companies can't put profit over safety, especially when it's the safety of our community. And you think about it, we're getting reports now that in West Eaton and the Altadena area, where the black section of town, they got the evacuation orders 7 hours after everybody else. So, again, it seems to be that they don't value black life. And so this lawsuit is about making sure we going to make them value black life, even if they want to sweep it under the rug, even if they want to move on and to the next page, even if they want to say Palisades are more important. Well, we black people got to say, hell no. Black life is just as valuable as white life, and black tears are just as painful as white tears.
I was reading a story in the New York Times the other day that and the LA Times has done, similarly. But this story was talking about how the LA fires really expose a web of government and utility weakness that aided and abetted these fires. That's the point that Ben Crump is making right now. That they weren't prepared for it. They could have done better. So just so I'm clear, and the audience is clear, the argument here with regard to Southern California Edison is that they were aware on January the 3rd that they should have de-energized the power. They did not do that, and as a result, your clients, the two you have so far announced, lost everything. Now, if I hear you correctly, and I know you as well as I do, Ben Crump, you said earlier it's the first but not the last. I'm no lawyer. I don't even play one on radio. But this sounds to me like a class action suit, because if Southern California Edison didn't de-energize the power on January 3rd, for those two people, They ain't the only two Negroes who suffered because the power wasn't de-energized. So it sounds like Southern California Edison is liable on a grand scale. I mean, that's just what I'm hearing. You tell me.
Yeah. Now, you're brilliant as always, and I like when, as trial lawyers and educated people say, I'm just a country lawyer, because they already 2 chess moves ahead. but yeah, we got to make sure nobody's left behind, Tavis Smiley. You're absolutely right. And so it's hard to get class actions now under this Supreme Court and so forth. But we're going to look at every possibility to make sure nobody is left behind. We're going to have a town hall meeting on Thursday. We're going to keep continuing them continuously because people need to know how you survive. They don't have their cars anymore. They were burnt to the ground, their houses, everything. So you're just trying to get them through next week. We understand that litigation can take months, if sometimes years, and that's why I put the letter and correspondence to the governor and attorney general saying, no, we need to immediately do something about these mortgages so they don't foreclose on these people's houses. We need to immediately do something about people like my client, Miss McClendon's mother, who's 80 years old, who used to go to the senior citizen care unit every day, but it's been burnt to the ground. So now that her children got to try to go to work so they don't lose their job, now they lost their house and lost their sister, what services can we give our community to make sure we can return to some normalcy? And so it's so many things going on, Tavis. That's why I'm going to have to keep talking to you and your audience throughout this ordeal and learning from you, Tavis. I know you know Los Angeles. You represent Los Angeles to your core. And there are certain things that we can't overlook in the courtrooms that are going to be so important when we talk about the long game. Because remember, if you don't remember anything else, y'all, when they have tragedies and catastrophes like this, they try to make sure they steal our land. It has been a long – think about Black Wall Street, what it was really about. I mean, it's a lot. We have to be ready to play the chess game, not the checker game. This is strategic.
Yeah. Ben, I got 60 seconds left here, and I'm going to ask a question you probably don't know the answer to, and I'm only doing it because I've got my people right now getting it from your office. You move so fast across the country, I don't expect you to know dates and times and locations. If you know where Thursday night is, let me know. If not, I'll tell the audience in 5 minutes. Don't turn the dial. Don't stop listening on the app. In 5 minutes, if Ben doesn't know, I'll tell you where it is Thursday. But here's my question in 45 seconds. Who is invited to the town hall meeting here in L.A. Thursday night? And I'll give them the information when we come forward. But who's invited? What's the goal here?
All concerned citizens, all affected citizens, the media. And Tavis, if your schedule permit, I'd love to walk with you and talk to the people. I know you've already been out there, but you got such influence, brother. And when you keep the press focused on our people, it's important because LA Times and them, they want to move on quick to the next story. We can't let them forget about Altadena. We know Palisade land may be more valuable by the tax collector and appraiser, but that black land to us means so much more than it means to the white people in Palisade because they had stocks and bonds. They had corporations to give their children. A lot of times, this house and this land was the only thing we had to give our children.
I got it. Ben, let me do this. I'm going to, for those listening right now, don't move. Give me just a few minutes. We're in touch with Ben's office now to get the actual location and all the detail for the town hall meeting Thursday night that you are invited to. And Ben, I'm saying this publicly, which means it's putting pressure on myself. I'm going to see, once I get the details, if we can't broadcast live your town hall Thursday night on KBLA.
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you, Tavis.
I love you, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Hey, Happy New Year. Happy MLK. Tavis Smiley, our culture matters. Thank you for always putting that at the forefront.
Love you, Ben Crump. I'll talk to you soon. When we come forward, we'll talk to Ruben Navarrete about Donald Trump and immigration. But don't move. I'll find the information for you, give it to you. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
This is getting good. Yeah, man. Tavis Smiley continues when we come forward.
Hey, you. I knew I'd find you back in the same aisle. What are you looking for today? More fiber? More laxatives? More of the same ways to manage your constipation? Look, if your constipation with belly pain keeps coming back, you may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. Ask your doctor how Linzess can help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know with BIN News. A historic snowstorm could hit as far south as Florida, prompting states of emergency in several states. Snow, ice, and freezing rain are expected, making travel dangerous. Officials urge people to stay off roads and keep water running to prevent pipes from freezing. Major deportation raids in Chicago have been postponed due to a leak. Border Czar Tom Homan said the raids targeting illegal migrants posing safety and security threats will be rescheduled to maintain surprise. President Trump pardoned 1,500 January 6th rioters on his first day back in office. He also designated drug cartels as terrorist organizations and rescinded nearly 80 of former President Biden's executive actions. And Ozempic and Wegovy may offer benefits beyond weight loss, potentially aiding in substance abuse, psychosis, cancer, and dementia. However, risks include digestive issues like nausea, vomiting, and stomach pain. I'm Bree Wood on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
Shop limited time deals during Lowe's Pro Savings Days. Get a free adjustable stand when you buy a DeWalt 12-inch miter saw. That's a $229 value. Valid 1/13 through 1/24 while supplies last.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The UCLA women's basketball team, ranked number 1 in the country, played in the Coretta Scott King Classic Monday in Newark, New Jersey. The game was part of activities in Newark honoring the national holiday for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. UCLA beat Baylor 72-57 to remain undefeated at 18-0. Bruin center Lauren Betts had 24 points, 9 rebounds, and a school record 9 block shots. The Chicago Bulls snapped the Clippers' 4-game winning streak. 112-99 was the final. Former UCLA star Zach LaVine dropped 35 for Chicago. The Lakers are back in action tonight at Crypto.com against the Washington Wizards. LeBron was in Atlanta last night to watch Ohio State beat Notre Dame for the Division I College Football National Championship. LeBron, a longtime fan of Ohio State University, had a luxury suite at Mercedes-Benz Stadium to cheer on his favorite college. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know? The United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time. Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Less monologue, more dialogue. Tavis Smiley continues right now.
Before I get to our regular contributor, Ruben Navarrete Jr., for those who just heard that Ben Crump conversation, I do have the details about Thursday, but I want to just cross my T's and dot my I's before I go live on national radio telling you where you can meet Ben Crump Thursday night here in Southern California for a town hall meeting about his lawsuit against Southern California Edison and all the details you need to know if you are in the affected areas or have loved ones in the affected area. There's a huge town hall meeting Thursday night here in Southern California in the Altadena area. Again, I have the detail in front of me, but there are two things missing, and so I don't want to go on the air and give you information that isn't completely accurate. So if I get that before I get off the air today, in the next 2.5 hours, you will get it. If I don't get it today, I promise you will have it tomorrow at the start of this program, and we will also post it on all of our socials. And as I mentioned a moment ago, if we find that we can get there to the location and they allow us to broadcast live, we may make arrangements quickly here in Southern California to bring that town hall to you with Ben Crump about this lawsuit and what you need to know. That may be a live program Thursday night. So again, all this up in the air, but when you own it, you can do what you want to do with it. And so if we can bring it to you Thursday night, we will. But stay tuned for all of that in the coming moments, if not hours, and certainly, as I said, by tomorrow, we'll have greater detail for you. But just mark your schedule. It is Thursday night in the Altadena area, town hall with Ben Crump about the lawsuit against Southern California Edison. More detail as quickly as I can confirm it. I just don't like going on the air with stuff that I can't confirm. Now, that said, a conversation right now with our regular contributor, Ruben Navarrete Jr. You saw and heard Donald, those who didn't boycott it, you saw and heard even in the media covering it if you didn't watch it live, what he had to say yesterday. And he, once again, laid in on immigration. So I want to talk to Ruben here in a moment about the historical implications and political consequences of Donald Trump's immigration policy. As promised, on his first day back in the Oval Office, Trump issued an order declaring a national emergency at the border, allowing for the immediate deployment of troops. Indeed, moments after he took the oath of office, he ran back to the White House, and his administration immediately shut down an app that allows migrants to secure appointments for legal entry into the U.S. An announcement on the program's website said, and I quote, "Existing appointments have been canceled," close quote, and Trump has ordered deportation proceedings to commence right now, today, in the Democratic stronghold of Chicago, go figure, and he plans to order the end, of birthright citizenship. That ain't going to be easy, but he's going to try to end birthright citizenship, long-standing in this country. Now, on top of all that, here's what he had to say yesterday. Take a listen.
First, I will declare a national emergency at our southern border. All all illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came. We will reinstate my Remain in Mexico policy. I will end the practice of catch and release. And I will send troops to the southern border to repel the disastrous invasion of our country. Under the orders I signed today, we will also be designating the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. And by invoking the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, I will direct our government to use the full and immense power of federal and state law enforcement to eliminate the presence of all foreign gangs and criminal networks, bringing devastating crime to U.S. soil, including our cities and inner cities. As Commander-in-Chief, I have no higher responsibility than to defend our country from threats and invasions, and that is exactly what I am going to do. We will do it at a level that nobody's ever seen before.
So, Ruben, let me start with this. Black America is having its own sort of genuflections about and reflections about what Trump had to say yesterday specifically. There's great talk in the black community about these black rappers who showed up to celebrate, Nelly and Soulja Boy and Rick Ross and others. So we're having our own conversations, but I can't help but ask whether or not your community now regrets the overwhelming vote they cast for Donald Trump.
No, I don't think so, brother. Always good to be with you here at KBLA. I don't think so. I think that the misnomer is somehow that Latinos are having buyer's remorse.
Mm-hmm.
That they voted for a guy who they thought was a different guy. It was a whole different Trump. And this new Trump that appeared yesterday, it really surprised those folks. So they're having a big guess what moment, right? That's a fiction. That's a fantasy. Here's the truth. Latinos voted for they knew exactly who they were voting for. They voted for the guy who showed up yesterday.
Mm.
And Latinos have very conflicted, ambivalent views on immigration. The only thing I can compare it to is the way that black Americans feel about Haitian immigrants, where you would think there'd be some solidarity there because, these are black immigrants, but there was not that kind of solidarity when Joe Biden was leading a crackdown on Haitian immigrants among black Americans. And that clearly is also the same thing here. The idea of nationality, of being of this country, whether you're a black American or Latino American, it's strong. And it takes precedence sometimes over skin color, ethnicity, race, whatever. And so there are plenty of Latinos out there who are happy to hear that Trump is going to crack down on these illegal immigrants and that he's going to try to curtail what he sees as this invasion on the southern border.
Mm.
That doesn't reflect my view, but clearly reflects the view of the 46% of Latinos who voted for him.
That's hard to hear, Ruben. When we come forward in a moment, I want to push back a little bit on the Haitian thing.
Sure.
So I'll put a pin in that for the second. I think there was some solidarity. We'll come back to that in a second. But it's hard for me to hear it, and I'm not even Latino. Is it hard for you to say that?
Yeah, because as a journalist, my job is to tell you it's raining, not to make the rain, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't determine the news. I'm just here to tell you what's happening. And I need to understand it, even if I don't like it or support it.
Mm. And do you understand it? Do you understand what that ambivalence is all about?
Oh, yeah.
What is it?
Oh, 100%.
What is
100%.
it? Tell me.
Well, there's a sense that people have taken advantage, that people are coming from different countries, not just Mexico, Colombia, Peru, and Venezuela. And they're taking advantage of our laws and our border and the fluidity of the border. The people are coming from China and elsewhere. And that we have been too lax in keeping out people who we don't want to be here. And sometimes it's a security issue. Sometimes it's people who may do us harm. And so I think that, like anything, brother, sometimes the left can go too far and they're too accommodating, or the right can go too far and they're too accommodating to the right wing. And I think that some of the policies you see here in California, frankly, they've gone too far.
But see, here's the part that troubles me, and we'll continue when we come forward. The part that troubles me about what Ruben's saying, and I'm not mad at Ruben. Ruben's just speaking the truth as he knows it. Some of those same Latinos that now want to close the border came here across the border. They may have been here for generations. They may have been here for decades, but many of them came here. And I'm not naive. California was once part of Mexico. I get all that. But many of them came across the border. Now, it reminds me of Negroes who are anti-affirmative action. Clarence Thomas and others. Well, you can't climb the ladder and then get to the top and then pull the ladder up. I digress for now. Ruben Navarrete Jr. on Tavis Smiley.
Generous listening. Charitable listening. It's why everybody wants to talk to Tavis. The conversation continues when we come forward.
Between all the holiday parties,
weekend tailgates,
and family get-togethers,
we've been overindulging a little more than usual over the holidays. But now, we are starting the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day.
Active Liver contains a powerful blend of turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke extract, all natural ingredients that help protect the liver so that it can protect you from toxins. It's like giving my body a daily detox. I've never felt better, and my energy is through the roof.
And my doctor is already impressed with how much better my numbers are looking. So if better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief.
Active Liver is available in both tablets and as a delicious gummy. You can find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well-trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up.
Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Now that Donald J. Trump has begun a second term as president, please join the Empowerment Congress and KBLA Talk 1580 to examine the question, where do we go from here? Chaos or democracy? At the Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science. This Saturday, January 25th, some of LA's top elected officials, Representative Sidney Comlager Dove, Assembly members Isaac Bryan and Sade El-Hawari will be on hand for what promises to be a lively and informative conversation. Doors open at 8 a.m. The general session, moderated by Tavis Smiley and broadcast live on KBLA Talk 1580, begins at 9 a.m. The event is free, but seating is limited. Registration is required. Go to the Empowerment Congress website at www.empowermentcongress.org to register. Where do we go from here? Chaos or democracy? Join the Empowerment Congress and KBLA Talk 1580 this Saturday, January 25th. Doors open at 8 a.m. The free program starts at 9 a.m. Registration is required at www.empowermentcongress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. More honesty than you can handle. More empowerment than you can imagine. You're tuned in to Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and Ruben Navarrete Jr. talking about Donald Trump and immigration. They are deporting people. We are told today are trying to round up people to deport in Chicago today. He wants to end birthright citizenship. He wants to close the borders. He's declared a national emergency, which means he can now deploy military troops. I want to stay focused on that, but leave it to Ruben to say something that takes me off course. But I'm getting all kinds of messages, as I suspected I would, Ruben. The moment that you made a comparison to black folk not being in solidarity with Haitians, all kinds of questions about what that comment is based on, because there was outrage in black media. We talked about it here. I heard other people talking about it. I read pieces. I saw interviews about it. Black folk were outraged when they saw those Border Patrol agents whipping those Haitians, those Border Patrol agents on horseback, no less, sort of beating and whipping those Haitians. There was indeed outrage, and it wasn't faux outrage. So on what is your comment based that we were not in solidarity with the Haitians?
So we were living through that, you and me, in real time. We were on the air. I was a guest on this show. We were talking about the incident of the whipping. We're talking about the Haitian policy. We're talking about how Biden had used the Remain in Mexico policy to put the Haitians in Mexico, not send them back to Haiti, but put them in Mexico.
That's right.
And there was clearly this conversation we had about the Democratic Party being the bad guy in this. And I felt that African Americans had a choice to make. Were they going to be in solidarity with Joe Biden and the Democratic Party,
I got you,
or with the Haitians? Mm-hmm. And the answer was with the Haitians. It was not the Haitians. It was the Democratic Party. Later, I saw The View. You know, Sunny Houston, the attorney, Palace, host of The View, co-host of The View, her husband is Haitian. And I know that because she made reference to that. And she was speaking out of frustration, saying, why aren't more people on the left, including black folks, you know, outraged by this? And the answer is because the guy in the White House is a Democrat.
Yeah, yeah.
If we had played that Haitian story differently with Donald Trump is the president, and then you got Border Patrol agents beating Haitians, well, they're going to have black folks up in arms. Yep. In this case, they were loyal to the Democratic Party. They hung the Haitians out to dry. I stand by it.
I take your point. I'm not sure that black people are one issue voters any more than Latinos are one issue voters, but I take the point that Ruben is making. That even as we said publicly that we were in solidarity with the Haitians, we continue to support an administration that was engaging that policy. So I take his point. One could quibble with it if I had more time. I don't have more time to quibble with it right about now. But there's your answer for those who want to know, as did I, on what Ruben was basing that comment. Broadly speaking, I see what he's saying, that, again, we stayed with Joe Biden. We stayed with Kamala Harris and got all excited about her candidacy, but she was a part of an administration that did, in fact, allow that maltreatment of those Haitians. I digress for now. Our remaining moments with Ruben when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Why does Tavis say when we come forward? Because he's not going back. And you don't have to go back either. Forward ever. Backward never. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
Progressive presents Renters MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Emily Neal's 70-inch TV. Because after watching her second-grade students yell at each other for hours, there's nothing Emily enjoys more than watching super-rich housewives also yell at each other. Why? Because those women are not her responsibility. And that's why her TV is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC now recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada, member FDIC.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., the Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Helping to make you the most knowledgeable person in your circle of friends. This is Tavis Smiley.
One comment for Ruben Navarrete Jr., our regular contributor, and then an exit question for Ruben. Tavis, I hear Ruben, but disagree with him respectfully. My dissent about how the Haitian community was treated did not mean that voting for Joe or even Kamala wasn't like holding my nose while letting the bitter medicine go down. So I think that comment reflects a number of people. Again, as I said, I don't think black folk are one-issue voters. And so when you're voting for Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or any other Democrat, Gavin Newsom, anybody for that matter, Adam Schiff, there are parts of their agenda you may not be down with. But as is too often the case, Ruben, both you and I find ourselves voting for the lesser of two evils, and that's a sad reality in this country. Another conversation for another time. I've got 3 minutes left, and I'll give it to you, Ruben. I am curious if you can look into your crystal ball, sir, and tell me, given what Donald Trump said yesterday, what he's doing today, and what he intends to do on birthright citizenship. As I said, I think that's going to be a fight. I'm not sure he pulls that one off, but with this Supreme Court, one never knows. But tell me where you think you and I are going to be in this conversation a year from now. Forecast for me where you think we'll be on these issues and what you and I will be talking about and what your point of view will be a year from now.
Okay, I think what we're going to be a year from now, he's going to have tried to deport a number of people. He's going to hit roadblocks along the way. He's going to realize that the infrastructure is not there to deport millions and millions of people. The most he can hope for is to match Barack Obama's record of, 400,000 people a year, about 3.2 million people. He would do half of that, 1.6 million. If he could get rid of 1.6 million people, many of whom would come back, by the way. But if he could do that, I think that would have to be called a success. So you'll see him really kind of temper expectations, and he'll get away from these big numbers of 5 and 10 million and stuff, and he'll be bringing the numbers down. I think he'll probably hit a series of constitutional roadblocks with regard to trying to change the 14th Amendment and birthright citizenship, in the process revealing the Republican Party to be really a dishonest group of liars and hypocrites, because this is not the party of family values. They're not in favor of a strict reading of the Constitution after all. And guess what? This is not something that's going to happen, and they're going to waste their time trying to get it done. But here's, I think, the interesting part, Tavis, and it's worth keeping an eye on.
Sure.
The most interesting thing he said yesterday was when he said he's going to label the drug cartels terrorist organizations.
Mm-hmm, I heard that.
That is new ground. And that is worth watching. And you're going to hear a lot of support, very surprising support from Mexico, from the Mexican people in Mexico who are rooting for Donald Trump to be successful in this regard, because they're frustrated by the cartels. They don't trust the government to protect them. I was in Guadalajara, Mexico for about 8 days after Christmas. Mm-hmm. That's all I heard from Mexicans. They were rooting for Donald Trump to take on the cartels.
Wow. So I'm going to kick you out of our country, but I'll help you. I'll help you fight the cartels inside your own.
That's right.
Yeah.
They're rooting from afar.
No,
From afar.
I get it. I'm pushing toward a conversation with the son of Marcus Garvey, who was pardoned by Joe Biden, Dr. Julius Garvey. But for now, I thank our regular contributor, Ruben Alvarez Jr., as I always do, for sharing his thoughts. We'll do it again soon, Ruben. Happy New Year, my friend. All the best to you, sir.
All right. Love you, brother. Take care.
Love you back. Thank you. More of our conversation when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know with BIN News. A historic snowstorm could hit as far south as Florida, prompting states of emergency in several states. Snow, ice, and freezing rain are expected, making travel dangerous. Officials urge people to stay off roads and keep water running to prevent pipes from freezing. Major deportation raids in Chicago have been postponed due to a leak. Border czar Tom Homan said the raids targeting illegal migrants posing safety and security threats will be rescheduled to maintain